All right, again, welcome back to your super show, The African Beat on the Voice of America. From our studios here in Washington, D.C., I send you greetings. And, today is a very exciting day for me. It is so exciting that I cannot even begin to imagine the way I am feeling right now. If you can sense it from my voice and from the way my face is beaming with smiles, it is because I have got my aunt here in the studio with me. And she is the legendary, the super lady. I call her the super diva. These girls of today are talking about being a diva. You don't know anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, African Beat fans out there, welcome to the African Beat, the one and only legendary Liberian and African singer, Miatta Fambulleh. Welcome to the African Beat, man.
Thank you very much.
Wow. This is such, it's like when your parents bought you your first toy. When-
I can't say anything.
no, Auntie Miatta, this is awesome. It is awesome. So I welcome you to the African Beat, and so I'm gonna start with the first song that you're gonna play for us, and that is Oba. And when we come back, we'll talk about the song. So let's get the song right now, Oba, and when we come back, we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Calling all the women, calling every single mother. Oba, woman, let us unite. Come, mamas, come and save your child. Baby Earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's skies. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. I said, come, sisters. Come and take back your child. This crazy world is breaking and burning and needs your strength right away. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature's skies. Ooh, take back your child. Take back your child. Oh, this is our time. Oh, this is our time. Oh, woman, no. This is our time. Oh, woman, no. This is our time. There is no place to run, so you must take away their guns and teach them right from wrong, and that love can conquer all. You rock the cradle, you carry the world.
Yeah, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a special song for the women.
Yes.
That this is your time.
Yes.
Hey, I just want you to elaborate on that a little bit. What
What
actually
made
you drag you into this kind of song? The song, the beat, the way you are singing it, it carries a weight. It carries some kind of a message.
Well, back in I don't even remember the year, 1996, I wanted to do a song. A friend of mine by the name of Oba, beautiful woman, lawyer, and everything else. I wanted to do a song in her memory, but then a lot of things happened at that time for me. It was, I don't know if you can remember when the young man blew up the federal building in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, yeah.
Yes. And that made a great impact on me because my son was the same age as that young man. And I wondered, as a mother, what made Timothy McVeigh turn out the way he turned out. And I knew that my son could never execute and act like that. And it was like, mothers are losing it. We are losing our children. And we're losing our children because if the children go bad and they go astray, it comes back to us.
It comes back to the mothers.
It comes back to us. And so it was like a clarion call for mothers all over the world because it's happening in America, it's happening in Nigeria, it's happening in London, it's happening everywhere. Young people. And David, what got to me is that these are young people. When did 27-year-olds and 26-year-olds, and now since I've even been in America, I've seen the young man who hit the Waffle House. You know, he was, why our children?
You as a mother,
yes,
you're holding yourself responsible. So what are we doing?
Yes.
How are we going to help to salvage this kind of situation?
That's right.
That our children will live the better life that we imagine for them.
Yes, exactly. And that's the motivation in the song, because I'm saying, there's nowhere for anybody to run. Nowhere is secure nowadays. Those people who thought they were leaving Africa as refugees to come to America. Duh.
When did this actually dawn on you to do a song like this?
1996.
1996?
Yes.
And when you look at,
1996.
since 1996 to now,
yes,
look at the trend.
That's right.
Look at what is happening.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. I wrote this in 1996.
You wrote it in 1996 and you see it keep unfolding in your eyes.
That's right.
Every day, every part of the world, it keeps happening.
That's right.
And you keep asking yourself the same question.
Yes.
Mothers, this is our time. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
We'll come back, and if you're just joining me, I have the pleasure of having in my studio here at the Voice of America, the legendary Miatta Fambulleh, originally from Liberia, went to school in Sierra Leone, and that's why I claim that. I say she is from Sierra Leone. Okay, so Miatta Fambulleh actually lived in Sierra Leone, and she was the daughter of an ambassador to Sierra Leone from Liberia. And, there were times when singing for you was a very difficult thing to do. Mm-hmm. There was a time in your life when, because of your parents' position, you were not allowed to. And there were so many hiccups. So give us a little take on that.
Well, I think that was the society those days. Ambassadors' daughters and hierarchy, or those people they term as the elites. No decent girl was supposed to be hanging out with the musicians who at the time were referred to as band boys.
As band boys, yeah.
But from that very early age, I was 14 years old, and I was running away, especially during the holidays. I was running away from the embassy to go and hang out with Francis Fuster and Heartbeats
yes.
and Desmond Eastman, Tom Johnson, and
Tom
others.
Johnson and others.
Yes, to go and listen to music. That was it was just something that drew me. And I guess even though I knew I wasn't going to go far with it, because sooner or later I would have to get serious about something. But at that age, I was just drawn
So
to
you
it.
knew at that time you were not going to go far with it. So how did you get far with it?
I was just stubborn. I think the older I got, meaning going to 17 and going to 18, I just felt
That this is it.
this is it. And
I have to do it.
And I'm a big girl, and my parents cannot tell me what to do. Of course, my father
Oh,
put
God, that is exactly what is happening today. Mommy, you cannot tell me what to do. I am not a child anymore. I am grown. So you guys started this thing long time ago.
It's like, no, I'm going to do it. This is what I wanted to do. But I'll tell you what, interestingly enough, my father loved music. He was a connoisseur of music. And so in our home, you could hear anything from Bach to Nina Simone to Ella Fitzgerald. So I knew he had a love for music. But I think his reaction vis-a-vis my doing it was that he didn't see a stage or a platform for an African girl. Because this was long before Nina Simone. I'm 10, 11 years old and wanting to sing. But like I said, there was this subtle encouragement. And then my mother threw me to my grandfather. The grandfather was the patriarch in the family, lawyer, outstanding and everything else, and made an appointment for me to go and see my grandfather one day. Mind you, they had set him up for him to give me that pep talk that you've got to go and do something serious because this singing business is not serious. Well, honey, when I went to see the old man, we had such a talk. He said, don't mind them.
Ah.
I'm telling you.
Don't mind them.
He
So
said,
you get your support.
I got my support that day. He said, don't mind them. They don't understand the creative artists.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it's in you. That's your gift from God. You've come endowed with your gift. And so you must share it. That was it. I never looked back.
And so when you're talking about sharing it, you see, there's this song that hit the whole of Africa and even beyond. Amo Sakisa. So tell me about this song because that's the next song we're going to play. Okay. And this is a song that even the kids that are growing up today, when they hear it, they start dancing to it, even though they were not around when the song was out. Because it is a song that never gets old. So tell me about this song.
Well, it's one of those songs we learned as young kids. And you know how we Liberians speak off the hook, not really pronouncing our vowels and everything else. I put it down to, in my research about the song, that Amo Sakisa was a replacement for I'm almost satisfied.
Oh, I'm almost satisfied.
Almost satisfied. And we Liberian people, we jack it and put it inside the pot and stir it. Jack into Amo Sakisa. You understand me? That's right. Because she says she wants to sing, but she doesn't have a voice.
Okay.
She wants to see, but her eyes are dim. She wants to love, but she ain't got no heart. Yes, I'm almost satisfied.
And guess what? Yeah. And in Sierra Leone, you know how we did that? Ambo Shakushe. We hold our hand and Ambo Shakushe.
Exactly. So, everybody does it.
Roll your eyes, if you please, Ambo.
That's right.
Okay, we'll get the song right now. Amo Sakisa, one of the greatest hits of the legendary Miatta Fambulleh, right here in the studio. Let's get the song right now. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful music, and it takes your mind way, way, way back. Amo Sakisa. All right. You see, I've been pushing Auntie Miatta to help me sing the song, but she's so much used to her band. And I think she was expecting me to get a band in the studio for. Unfortunately, Auntie Miatta, I could not get a band for you, so you have to bear with me. But never mind. That's our original, and she loved it, and she wants to give you the best out of the rest. You know, when you were doing this song, you said it was done in 1975
1975 with Baranta.
with Baranta.
Yes.
Wow.
Baranta and Hugh Masekela and Hejule.
Oh yeah, and we pay tribute to Hugh Masekela some time ago.
Yes.
You know, may his soul rest in peace. But that is one great African that we'll always remember, and his music. So he was part of this
He
song.
was
too.
part of this production.
Wow.
Yes.
And so what was it like at your age at that time performing with those big names like the Hugh Masekela, you know, putting Baranta together?
Well, I wasn't
France-
a teenager.
You
I wasn't.
Oh
a
yes, in
teen-
1975. No, you were grown. Oh,
Yes,
come
I
on.
mean, I was a young lady going 20 something. For me, it was exciting being with all those guys because Baranta in itself was about 7, 8 musicians. All of them, they were the remnants of Heartbeats.
I've had beats with
Geraldo,
Fusta and others.
yeah, Geraldo Pino had gone off on his own, and Francis was leading Baranta. So we hooked up together, and then Hugh Masekela and his group Hejule came into Nigeria.
So should I say your singing career actually kicked off in Sierra Leone?
Yes. Yes, it did. It did. I mean, I went to school there and I started forming bands there in secondary.
Really? You know,
Yeah.
that's why I said, you know, when we were growing up,
Yes.
and the Fambullehs, we were not even thinking that they were from Liberia.
Yeah.
And when we talk about Miatta Fambulleh, we cannot even think that Miatta is from Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And that's what James don't want to hear.
No. All of a sudden, well, you know how people are. Liberians now want to claim me because Sierra Leoneans are claiming me, Ghanaians are claiming me, or the Nigerians. But I always tell them that Sierra Leone is my home away from home.
Okay, all right. This is the African Beat on the Voice of America, and my guest today is the legendary Miatta Fambulleh, who is right here with me, and I call her the African legend. And all right, and so you know, of all your songs, which one would you say your favorite is?
That's very unfair.
Because when Miatta Fambulleh, when they want to identify Miatta Fambulleh from her songs, from the top of my head, 2 songs will come to mind:
Kokolioko.
Kokolioko and Mosakisa. I know there are other songs there, but those
Yes.
2 are some of the biggest some of us grew up listening to. And even today, when you play it, people just start singing it because in those days we listen to those songs, we dance them in the compound,
Yes.
in the moonlight, playing together as children. We sing them as folk songs.
Yeah.
And so, what would you tell me about Kokolioko?
Interestingly enough, the first time I heard Kokolioko, I heard it in Freetown.
In
Yeah,
Freetown?
In Freetown. I heard it in Freetown. I didn't learn that song in Liberia. I heard it in Freetown because at the time you had some very talented performers like Ali Ganda and Kalenda and others who were doing that song, even though they were doing it to another beat.
Okay.
And it just hit me. I loved it for the harmonies. So from the time I was 14 years old, this song was in my mind, and my father liked the song, done by the Aligandas and the. And so when I got to London my first time, I said, let me put this song down.
And you did.
And I did. And the fact that I was in the studio with mostly Jamaicans in London, I just decided, let's do a reggae beat.
Let's do it. Okay.
Yes, let's do a reggae beat. We're in London. We have more West Indians here than we've got Africans. And the West Indian, the reggae market was opening up and everything else. And so that is why we decided to do that song.
So you know what's going to happen, Auntie Mia? We're going to do this song. Please help me with it. Don't leave it to me. It is not my song. Don't leave it to me. All right. So now, pump it up for me, Nick. I want this song, Kokolioko. It's one of my favorites. And Auntie Miatta, help me with this one.
I will help
Any
you.
way you can do it. Yes, let's go.
Chicken they grow for day.
This song, it's so good. The song never gets old.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And you know, for me, when you're talking about from 1977, this was actually produced in 1977. For me, I'm so tired of it. And
You're tired with it? We're just getting started with it.
listen, I'm so tired of it. Every time I say, no, I'm not going to put it on the repertoire. I'm not going to put it. But I remember doing a show about 10 years ago in Monrovia, David. And I had my whole repertoire. I did not put that song because I figured they're all Liberians. They've heard it before. And so I did the whole repertoire. And it was like I hadn't finished. They were all hanging.
They were waiting.
They were waiting. And I went on. I took my bow. I said, tonight I'm going to stand my ground. I'm not doing this song. And I bow and everything. It was, no.
No.
I walked off the stage and everything. And some young kids came I mean, young kids like our children.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, Auntie Miatta, you must never leave that song out of your repertoire. I say, why? I'm tired. You all have heard the song. They say, because that's the song we remember you and our parents. We remember our parents enjoying this song. And so when you leave it out, for us, it's like something is missing.
You know, what you just said there reminded me of a day when I was telling you about Patricia and Afro National.
Yes.
We were having a show here, and Patricia was performing. She was doing all other songs.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to walk off the stage without performing Sonjo.
Don't you?
The whole, she could not go. People did not allow her to leave.
Yes.
She had to perform that song.
Yes.
So it's like Kokolioko.
Yes.
You know, there is no way the name Miatta Fambulleh or the history of the memoir of Miatta Fambulleh can be written without Kokolioko. It's not possible. It's not. You know, those kids told you the right thing.
Yes. Say, don't leave it out.
You can't leave it out.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bit of it, you have to give people. That is what will keep people satisfied. It's like you're giving them a satisfaction that they've actually seen Miatta Fambulleh.
Yeah. Took them back. Took
Yes.
them way back. No,
Yes.
I listened to them because even for me, it was a revelation, that my song connected them with their parents.
With their parents.
Because they remember their parents enjoying the music.
Enjoy. If we say we're going to talk about everything, we will not leave this studio today.
Not at all.
First of all, I just want to thank you. It is such a great honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
And to be on my show, The African Beat on the Voice of America, and my children, my grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren will live to see this day that I was in the same studio with the legendary, the great Miatta Fambulleh. This is so loving. But, just before we do the last song, which you call Tiffy Tiffy.
The Big C.
The Big C. Oh, it's the Big C.
It's called the Big C.
Okay. Well, we'll come to that. I want you to send a message. What your message would be to the younger generation of people who are artists, whether it is music, whether it's in acting, whatever it is. You are an ambassador, and most of us look up to you.
My message is, and I'm dealing from a creative aspect, is that you have to love what you are doing. You have to love your art. And the concentration on that art should not initially be about the money. We have a lot of young artists today who have not developed to their full potential, but they're out there and the money is sweet. Getting paid sums that your seniors who Y4 and all these never made in their lives. But in the same token, the young artists are coming and we're forgetting about them. They're not leaving a lasting legacy. You understand me? One of the groups that just comes to mind is P Square. Very talented young men. But they went too fast. It was not about developing and going into their creativity. It was just about putting out these mass records. And before you knew it, they burnt out, and so it messed with their own relationship as artists. You understand? We had to go through trial and error. We had to go through playing the clubs where only 10 people were. And that is where we learned our craft. And then we went to school to show you how to move on the stage, etc., and to be able to deliver. A lot of the young artists have not a clue about live performances, etc. So my advice to some of the young artists coming up is that they should go and find out where they're coming from.
So they will know where they're going.
So they will know where they're going. And they're getting caught up in mass producing what is coming from America. I mean, even the African rap now, it's almost like depending on what the American rappers are doing. They need to find their own niche. They need to find their own music, etc., and give it to the world.
And give it to the world. All right. And so what is the big C?
Corruption.
Corruption in Africa. Oh my goodness.
Yes. It's I mean, it's no joking matter. It's no joking matter. Our continent is in dire need, and it's and we talk about it every day. That's the funny thing about it. In each and every country. Oh, corruption. But we have not been able to stop it. And as a result, our people are still lingering in poverty. No basic health care, no water, no electricity. You understand?
Education is going down.
Education is going down, and so on and so forth. And we are told about governance and transparency, etc., etc., etc. But I think those words are too big for the people who steal.
We'll leave it as that and let the music speak for itself.
Exactly.
For itself. So at this point, I just want to say thank you again, Madam Miatta Fambulleh.
Thank you for having me.
Auntie Miatta.
Yes.
Thank you so very much for being on the show here today. It's a pleasure from members of the African Beat Team English to Africa and all our engineers, Nick, Ted, and our technicians out there. I say thank you so very much. And until we meet again, I am David Vandy here in Washington. And on behalf of my guest, Miatta Fambulleh, I want to say thank you for joining us today. And I will leave you with this song, and it's called The Big C, Corruption. All right? Let's go with this one. And it's a plus for you.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Here, there, and everywhere.
The people keep on crying.
The people just keep on crying.
It's not fair. And we go, we know some, you some. All the big people, you some. I some, you some. All the roadside hustlers, you some. Tiffy, Yanko,
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Yanko,
The big C confuse us.
Tiffy, Yanko,
The big C they blind us. It's so wrong.
and it's growing
Everywhere.
Oh yes, growing
Everywhere. The big C is corruption. The big C is spreading everywhere. The big C is corruption. It's killing you.
I eat some, you eat some. All the big people, they eat some. I eat some, you eat some. All the roadside hustlers, they eat some. Poverty and hunger,
You're dead.
maternal newborn mortality, child abuse and trafficking,
You're dead.
violence against women and rape,
You're dead.
light and water,
You're not dead.
sanitation,
You're not dead.
health and education,
You're not
jobs
dead.
and employment,
You're not dead.
equal rights and justice,
You're not
truth
dead.
and honesty,
You're not
peace
dead.
and harmony,
You're not dead.
nationalism, patriotism,
You're not dead.
Ole,
I